Hey there, everyone. That sexy nerd is back again. And the moment has arrived. He's finally, Nostalgia Critic is finally covering the Twilight saga. And man, this is the one thing I have not been waiting for. Because I knew he was going to cover it. I knew he was eventually going to say, hey, wouldn't it be nice to reminisce when we all just went through hell? When all guys were forced to watch these shitty movies. These awful, god-awful movies, vampire movies. Again, I could never stand these movies. And I had a girlfriend I had more than one girlfriend, actually, who was completely obsessed with these damn things. Because these just happened to come out when I was going through, like, finishing high school and going into college. So I had a great time. Didn't you? Some of them are actually not bad. I remember Eclipse, in particular. The third one was actually okay because of but to be fair, it was like vampires fighting werewolves, and it was the first time. So that was before it got boring. And then by the time Breaking Dawn came around, all we had was, you name my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster? And creepy incest, creepy child perving, and wow. I don't care who defends that crap. That is weird. Like saying you're going to be with the kid all the time, and eventually, like I remember there was just this awful, like, looking scene of, like, people from Jacob's tribe. Like, there was just a baby and an adult just sitting there watching the water, and it's so creepy. It leaves me with such a bad taste in my mouth, and that's why I can never watch these. I think that was finally where I was like, I finished all of them, but I'm never going to watch any of these again. But the Critic's doing them, so at least it won't be technically watching the movies again. So please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy and nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and y'all, despite all the trauma I'm about to reintroduce myself to, I could use y'all help. With that out of the way, let's get into it, y'all.
Hard to believe it's been 10 years since the first Twilight movie came out. Since the last Twilight movie came out? Damn, these films are old.
Oh.
2008, man. That's 15 years since millions of teenage boys were dragged by millions of teenage girls to see a film series that had them scratching their heads saying, really? This is what's gonna get me laid? Girls are stupid. Now let me go watch my equally non-pandering franchise.
Yeah, fair enough.
Did I just say franchise? Did I just make up a good word? Anyway, yeah, boys and girls really like a lot of shit in the past. That's nothing new. But the Twilight franchise was distinctly awful.
Thank you.
And what I mean by that is, it seemed to encapsulate every kind of bad there was.
Yeah.
Some are so bad they're good, others are just boring. Some try fourth wall humor, others try to play it straight. Some are just harmless fluff, others are some of the most harmful things you can show a young person involving romance.
Yeah.
Now yes, this clearly falls into the category of romantic fantasy, not to be taken too seriously, and the generation that grew up with it turned out fine. So I wanted to see if these movies were as awful as I and everyone who memed them remember. After all, over time, the lead actors have proven themselves to be quite talented.
Fair enough.
Could it be there was something, even the tiniest thing about it, that was legitimately intelligent?
No! It's just dumb!
Well, let's not waste any time, because Christ, we have a lot of movies for that. Let's start with the original, Twilight.
I gotta watch Glass Onion. I gotta watch that.
Based on the 2005 young adult.
By the way, I'm not sure if I agree with this kind of style. Why can't he just do every individual movie by themselves? You get more views and more videos that way. Come on, and if you got to do an individual movie for individual review for each travesty that has been made, it's got to be this series. Come on.
Novel. I'll admit, I had no idea what to expect from this film.
Oh,
all I knew about the book
was
was that distinct cover and that it was everywhere. I didn't even know it was about vampires or werewolves or whatever. I was pretty much going into it blind. But the book was a big hit and the director seemed to have a decent enough track record. So I walked in with pretty much no expectations.
Oh, that's right.
And put simply, I was delightfully amazed at how terrible it was. However, there is a little bit of an asterisk with that. I'll explain in a minute. The setup, Bella Swan,
hated
played
this
by
movie.
Kristen Stewart, moves to a new school in Seattle where she falls in love with a boy named Edward Cullen, played by Robert Pattinson. It's love at first whiff.
Smell.
Oh yeah, these actors can smell how bad this is gonna be.
So weird.
Look, he has wings. It's symbolic. This movie's going places I didn't think it would dare. Edward reveals himself to be a vampire. Yeah, I was shocked by that too. And despite trying to keep his distance, he has a strong need to instantly protect Bella.
I feel very protective.
This looks so creepy.
They barely have a conversation, yet he sees himself as Mario to her Peach. You're really gonna regret that after 5 movies, but we'll get to that too. Bella reacts to this the same way she reacts to everything, with no reaction. And she discovers that not only is Edward 108 years young, but he and his vampire family feast on animals rather than humans, and rather than die in the sunlight, they sparkle like a giant lip gloss.
It's like diamonds. You're beautiful.
Are we sure Stephanie Meyer wasn't an AI specifically writing for teen girls?
This is what I mean. She was weird.
killer, Bella.
You're not worthy of that meme. When a bunch of bad vampires get a literal scent of this, the war is on to stop their romance, resulting in all of the baddies getting killed off except for one who vows revenge.
I wanted to kill you. I've never wanted a human's blood so much in my life.
I trust you.
Why? What?
Okay, so this is a very easy film to rip apart, and when I first saw it, I told all my friends, you have to see how bad it is. The terrible writing, the stilted acting, the laughably bad wire work.
Oh,
This scene. It's a laugh riot. If you don't know all this going in. See, by the time my friends got around to watching it, they already heard about the sparkling skin, the fan fiction premise, the emotionless performances. Because of that, they found it really boring. And yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I think that was
If you
me
go
too.
into this completely blind, it's a definite so bad it's good movie. But if you already know the memes and what happens
was
in
me.
it, the film is honestly very dull to look at and listen to.
Yeah.
The only thing that's kind of entertaining is how they make the mother of all dysfunctional couples try to sound romantic.
How did you get in here?
The window. I like watching you sleep.
I just like to watch you guys.
Yeah,
I love you
he looks
and
like
Johnny.
Denny. He does.
Yeah, sure, throw that on there. So yes, there is a lot that's bad about this movie, but it's not an insane kind of bad if you know what you're getting going in. That's where New Moon comes in.
This is the worst one. This was the worst one.
Released only 1 year later, and man does it show. New Moon officially creates the
I like
love
that
triangle
part,
that
though.
horny girls convince themselves they could be in the middle of. Team Edward versus
Oh my god. But I'm sorry. Doesn't that scene where Jacob reveals himself? I'll play it again. Doesn't he kind of look like Donkey from Shrek? He's like, I'm expecting him to go, Donkey!
his Team Jacob, played by Taylor Lautner. Oh my god.
Oh my
Forgot that's the hair he originally had. Yeah, looks good on you, man. Looks really great. He drops it, right? Okay, phew. Oh, you seem to be missing something else. Was your long hair glued to all your
weird.
shirts? No, really, I'm not kidding. Jacob being shirtless in this is like the ice puns in Batman and
Yeah.
Robin. You think, nah, that can't be the majority of the movie,
Yeah.
but it sure as hell is. And just like that, Batman, get used to those nipples. They're gonna be looking at you for a while. Nudist colonies cover up more than Jacob. So, okay, Bella and Edward are living blandly ever after until the unthinkable happens. Bella gets a cut, causing the vampires to go crazy. Wait, that's not unthinkable, that's
dumb.
incredibly thinkable.
oh.
Day one, you should have been concerned about this. You know you're vampires, right? Anyway, this is enough for Edward to break up with Bella and move away. Yeah, most of the movie, these two aren't even together.
You just don't belong in my world, Bella.
Hated this movie.
No.
God, I hate this
don't.
movie.
I know Stewart got a lot of flack for her acting in this, and rightfully so, but honestly, Pattinson is just as bad.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know, they were young, they hit something that caught on, and they wrote it out to good movies eventually, but I'm not gonna pretend because he was in The Lighthouse, this magically becomes good.
Thank you.
He's supposed
Stop
to break
giving
up
Rob
with her, and
Pattinson.
I guess
That's what I've always been saying. Stop giving Rob Pattinson forgiveness for these movies because, again, these movies were really bad, and he has not done anything to remotely wipe that away yet. I mean, yes, a lot of the movies that he's made have been really good. I like the Batman. Not as much as the other Batman movies, but still. Yeah, he was a good Batman. Yeah. Actually, it was more... actually, I don't know. In my personal opinion, I always felt like it was him, but maybe like Edward Cullen, but he lost Bella, or he never met Bella, and he decided to fight crime and help the people. Which, again, describing that sounds like a way better story than Twilight, but still.
Pretend like he doesn't love her, but he has to act bad enough so the girls in the audience can catch on that he doesn't mean it, which just makes the acting worse.
I don't want you to come. You're just not good for me. But if it's not too much to ask.
Not too much to ask! You literally just broke up with her! Do any of these people?
I know.
Don't do anything reckless. This is the last time you'll ever see me.
What tone is he even going for here? It's like he's trying to be good at being bad, which just turned out bad, so he's like, screw it, I don't even care how I'm saying this line.
Goodbye.
Just say cut already. The reason he doesn't want her to do anything reckless is, get this, whenever her life is in danger, his spirit appears. So you guessed it, she repeatedly crashes vehicles and jumps off cliffs just to get Edward's attention. So you know, kids, if things don't work out with your high school sweetheart, like most young love goes, it's not that he was your perfect mate, it's that yes he is, he just needs convincing. He said no, well just Wile E. Coyote yourself back into his heart. What's the worst that could happen? You die? So Edward thinks she's dead and is about to expose himself to sunlight in front of a crowd. Oh no, he'll explode! Oh wait, he'll just sparkle.
No, he'll just sparkle.
But people will know vampires are real!
Did anyone care?
Don't really see why this is a secret. I mean, you eat animals like other people eat animals, and hell, medical technology has come a long way and maybe can help. You know, maybe staying in the shadows was wrong. Come on out and let the world see who you really are. No! Yeah. Bella saves it.
Also, no. That, I don't know where Doug is getting this from, but that's not how the world works. Do you know how many people would fearmonger the crap out of these people? Look at True Blood. True Blood was a messed up show. It was all crazy and everything, but it did realistically portray how the world would react if vampires had, or to a degree, reacted to how vampires would be seen in the real world and try to live with humans. Not a lot of trust and a lot of killing on both sides, isn't it?
We're from exposing himself. Not that enough of him wasn't exposed already.
I know, right?
And the Vampire High Council, led by Michael Sheen, bullshitting his way to the easiest paycheck he ever got, says they can be together. Well, there's only one way to follow up this rickety love roller coaster of endless misery.
Marry me, Bella.
God. What?
You assholes were barely together in this movie! She spent more time with Jacob, who I'll admit, outside the father, is the only character I legit feel sympathy for.
Yeah.
The whole film, he's trying to be kind and help Bella out, and all she does is act like she wants him and then acts like she doesn't.
Yeah.
Sure, he's...
Isn't that Girls Today? That's Girls Today. Yo, I think Twilight had a bigger impact on teenage girls than I thought, because most of the girls that I've dated in the past are just like that crap, and it's annoying as hell.
Way too confident in his body image, but he was there for her. For whatever baffling reason, he wanted to help her despite being bonkers cuckoo bananas.
That's why I was always Team Jacob.
The insane choices these people make are way too nutty not to find funny. It's not laugh out loud hilarious, but it's so hypnotically awful, it can be quite entertaining.
God.
Unlike its 2010 follow-up, Eclipse.
I like Eclipse. Let's see what he says. I like Eclipse. I like it.
Eclipse, in some respects, is the worst kind of Twilight movie, a self-aware one. And to make it even worse, it's not that bad.
See, yes!
You see, the director of this ended up acquiring a pretty interesting resume. And this is the first film where you got the feeling everyone involved knew they were making crap.
When I read it, it was like it was a book that wasn't supposed to be published.
I've probably made 5 really good films.
What am I doing with this kid? I'm 108 years old.
Kind of ignore their duties instantly. They just want to bone. It's the most ridiculous situation.
Millions of Twilight fans out there.
Yo, Chris Rock sitting there made that scene extra hilarious. He's just like, I can't even write good comedy like that.
Just they don't want it to be over. It's a little bittersweet, isn't it? For them. Yeah.
For them,
now, they stuck it out. They gave audiences what they were looking for, but there is a cynicism that at first is kind of welcomed. Like Edward
like this
asking if
movie.
Jacob ever wears a shirt.
Doesn't he own a shirt?
Yeah.
Or Jacob warming up Bella because Edward has no body heat, saying,
Let's face it, I am hotter than you.
there's even a graduation speech pretty much saying high schoolers are dumb and get into a lot of stupid things, so go easy on them.
And
This is the time to make mistakes.
It was the right-
Fall in love, change your mind, and change it again.
perfect actress to
Great,
do
but
that.
in terms of Twilight writing, this is Rick and Morty self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's the most competently done,
It
and
is.
therefore the least interesting.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of if Harry Potter's finale didn't give a shit. Still cool. Would have still been cool. But, well, actually not give a shit in a good way. Like, didn't try as hard as they did. Yeah. This whole movie is like a bad Harry Potter movie. That's the kindest recommendation I could ever give it. Because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
But it's still pretty damn bad.
It is.
The film opens with Bella denying Edward's proposal.
Oh, and they break
sorry,
the
would
bed.
it be too fast for you, miss. Jump off a cliff if he doesn't look at me. And he keeps asking over and over like a 5-year-old who has a crush on his babysitter.
Marry me. Marry me.
I can't.
Marry me.
But oh no, Jacob called dibs and he wants her. And things get worse when that evil vampire from the first film wants revenge. Oh yeah, wasn't that like a big thing at the end of the first film?
It
like,
wasn't.
Oh, she's gonna get him, just you wait, and then they forgot about her in movie 2. Well, she's back in movie 3! Yeah, if you called her the League of Shadows, this suddenly be brilliant. And they have an amazing plan to throw her off their trail. Have Jacob carry Bella, shirtless of course, so her scent will be disguised by his scent.
Your scent will mask mine if you carry me.
No,
wolf
you just
coming up.
wanted to be...
We were gonna have you two bow and like, well, a Twilight porno parody, but what do you think this is? A Twilight porno parody?
Is this a trick question?
No, that'll be the next one. They do
Oh,
end up
I thought
defeating
they
the
broke
evil
the bed in
vampire
the-
after Bella cock teases Jacob some more.
Kiss me! I'm asking you to kiss me.
You know, screw these two camps. I'm setting up a Team Sanity tent.
Okay, fair
But
enough.
ultimately, she goes with Edward and agrees to marry him. Don't cry, Jacob. You're kind of escaping a cult. I don't know. Everyone in these movies acts so batshit crazy. The further you get away from him, the healthier you're probably gonna be.
And let's not forget, Jacob doesn't lose his mind until the next one, or the end of the next one. Ooh.
But unfortunately, we can't get away as we have to partake in
Breaking Dawn.
the
worst.
absolute worst
Yes.
of the bunch.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh, you better take a break. I have to prepare for this. So in 2011, Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Oh, these movies. Oh, there's, yeah, like, you have no idea how painful this is. You have no idea. I'm like, it's not even hot in this room. I'm sweating.
Because Harry Potter did it.
Yeah.
Not having enough movies. And then everyone was like, oh, I didn't know we could money this way. 2 parts it is. Anyway, Breaking Dawn Part 1 is easily the worst one.
It is.
It
Both
has
of
its
them are
dumb,
bad.
laughably idiotic moments like the others, but it's also crazy unpleasant.
Yeah,
like,
it really
who the
is.
hell would go back and
Seriously. Oh my god. Oh my god. They're bringing the nightmares back. He's bringing the nightmares back. Oh my god. I could not take this movie. Like, she gives birth to a monster baby. It breaks her in half at the... Oh my god. Wow. All these movies were so bad. Especially, like, I was dating my college girlfriend at the time. I walked out of the theater and just waited for a little bit just to hopefully come in a good moment where I wouldn't be like trying to rip my eyes out.
watch this a second time.
Nope.
I remember looking forward to watching this and laughing my ass off like the other movies, but
No,
this was
it was
one of the most
offensive.
unenjoyable experiences I ever
Yes.
had watching
Yes.
a film.
Yep.
What the hell director put this together? That totally tracks.
Oh.
So it opens with Edward and Bella getting married, and her dream of becoming a vampire, kinda, is about to happen. Yeah, I forgot to mention, she really wants to be bitten by Edward and live forever. So, you know, all you teens afraid of death, you should be. Live forever, throw yourself off a cliff. Either works, these movies are garbage.
But she
Anyway,
doesn't
Edward
wanna
takes
marry,
her
right?
to see the boy who tried to steal her away. Because, you know, it's a sign of real love.
Everything's perfect now.
They dance in the most awkward of silences.
Oh my gosh. I think this was around the time I walked away.
My heart's as warmed as Dippin' Dots. And then he starts yelling at her and manhandling her because she says she's gonna bonk Edward while she's still human.
It's really none of your business.
You are joking. You can't be serious, Bella. Tell me you're not that stupid.
You see what I mean? It's instantly miserable.
Yes, they are.
Bounce back with some of that fun Twilight craziness is when Bella and Edward finally do the deed. It results in this.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stupidly fun stupid I'm looking for. It gets uncomfortable again, though, when she's covered in bruises. Edward's ashamed, and Bella's like, nah, I love it.
Don't ruin this.
I've already ruined it.
I mean, it was amazing for me.
Which, okay, I guess it's consensual and everything, but does anyone else feel odd an audience of teens are watching a boy leave bruises on a girl during a lovemaking scene in films like this?
But, you know, Me Too and everything, right? Me Too, wokeness, and oh my goodness. Is this where this all started? Ugh!
It's fine.
Why can't you see how perfectly happy I am?
I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it, but things get complicated when she discovers a little Vlad is cooking in the oven.
I know that it's impossible, but
I'm pregnant.
I think that I'm pregnant.
At first I didn't know what they were talking about when they were saying it.
Oh, did you see his face there? His face is like... That's the best acting Rob Pattinson did in that movie. Hands down. He's like... Why me?
As impossible as, yeah, vampires can't produce babies, but they can't sparkle and should be able to turn to bats and sleep in coffins and hypnotize people. I really thought they were just vampires in name only. How was I supposed to know you're suddenly sticking to the script? Regardless, everyone acts like a little demon is growing inside her, and again, there's just this relentless nastiness to the movie.
Carla, we'll get that thing out.
Yeah.
What is it? Take it out of her.
The fetus isn't good for Bella.
I can see what that thing's doing to you.
I can feel him.
I don't know what it's trying to do or say, but it's the equivalent of Captain Planet talking about AIDS.
CGI,
You're
man.
clearly not talented enough to talk about it. So yeah, the baby is sucking the life out of her. The rest of the movie is pretty much just watching her die while she gives birth.
Get him out now!
How romantic.
I know, right?
And after she does finally pop the kid out, Jacob goes to kill this thing. Like, what is happening? And then...
falls in love with it.
I honestly don't know how to explain this.
I know.
He sees the baby and instantly falls in love.
That is awful.
Oh. Do you see why these movies leave me in such a sore mood? It's just, they're so utterly fucking bad. Probably the worst movies of all time. I'll say it. Worst movies of all time.
Shit you not. They call it imprinting, and Jacob is destined one day to be this kid's special fuzzy friend.
Ew. Please let that be the end of your speech.
Nope.
Honestly, I had such a hard time following it and hated everything else so much. I couldn't even register what the hell it was saying. The only thing I remember about this ending is that it did lead to one cool shot after Edward bites her and turns her into a vampire.
Was not cool.
That was a cool final image.
All I was thinking...
a multitude of terrible. Seeing this again just brought back all the uncomfortable feelings I had watching it the first.
Look at that. I didn't even watch the damn movie again, and yet I am so upset. I'm legit in a bad mood right now. Wow.
First time. There is just nothing enjoyable about it. The final installment better get back to the bullshit I'm used to. Now this is the trash I signed up for. In 2012, the final installment, Breaking Dawn 2, was released. Like the others, it's quite bad, but it is hands down the most entertainingly bad. I couldn't believe this was the same director as the previous one. I mean, apart from it being dog shit, but it's some of the wackiest canine feces this film could throw at you. After Bella becomes a vampire, she visits her baby daughter. If that's what you can call this, when did this become a Baby Geniuses movie? Oh, and if you're wondering why they went CG with this and didn't just get a real baby, it was actually to cover up a worst effect. I shit you not, this was the original baby they had.
Oh, I don't know where to laugh or to cry. right now. That just oh, that hit me in my soul. that hit me in my soul. Oh no. Oh, I think I got tears in my eyes. Oh my god. Oh, what is that?
I'm instantly in love with this movie.
Why?
Can I imprint on the film? I'm instantly in love with this movie.
Why?
Speaking of which, Jacob tells Bella he imprinted on her, or she imprinted on him.
You imprinted on my daughter?
It wasn't my choice.
I'm still not following this, but I'm pretty sure saying that doesn't make things better.
It doesn't make any
And for whatever reason, he calls her Nessie.
It was Nessie who wanted me there.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
What the hell am I watching? Despite her real name being...
Nesme.
Go back to calling her the Loch Ness Monster. Nessie
Nesmith?
starts growing at a rapid pace. Hey, Jacob, you'll be able to get that in about a year's time. Yeah, okay, this is pretty creepy.
Really
But the Vampire Council hears about the child and decides she must be killed.
Why?
The whole film is basically building up this big battle.
Why again? Why again did they want to kill the... Oh, and by the way, I love how the guy from Dexter, the guy who was the first serial killer in Dexter, is in this movie, and also weirdly a guy from the show Shameless. What is up with the Showtime actors in this movie?
And at long last, using some of the money these movies made to go into its effects. You know, after a while. And it pays off in a big showdown.
Young Belle.
I hate this movie.
Now keep in mind, Michael Sheen is already acting pretty odd in this, even by Twilight standards. But when they bring Nessie over, he gives a reaction, I'm just gonna say it, justifies all these terrible movies' existence. Do me. Do me right now, movie. We'll do it on the death. Draw me like one of your French girls! What in all of cinematic history was that? I burst out laughing in the theater and half the audience joined me.
Oh.
Even Twilight fans couldn't believe they were seeing what they were seeing. That cackle has brought me so much joy over the years. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I just put that on and it's like instant better.
You know, he probably just did that in the middle of the take. You know, he just probably just did that. They didn't ask him to do it. They probably just asked him, like, to do something. Something. And he just did that. And the movie, it just became infamous throughout the rest of our lives. Thank you for being the best actor in these movies.
The only thing to make this even more amazing is an interview Sheen did where, no joke, I had to rewind this to make sure I heard what I heard.
The one that's in this film is actually probably the most subtle, toned-down version of the ones that he did on set.
Of course it is.
What the hell did he do in those other takes? Was he like... I am going on a National Treasure style hunt to find that footage. As if things couldn't possibly get any crazier. Yeah. It breaks out one of the silliest, wackiest, but also crazily entertaining fights I've seen in anything. Limbs are flying, heads are being ripped off, the friggin' earth opens up. Absolutely none of it looks real, but that just adds to the craziness. It's like an asylum-style Marvel movie. Where was all of this in the other films? All of this fun seems too good to be true, and wouldn't you know it? It was
too
stupid. None of that happened. It's all just a vision to show.
It was the cool. That's again. While I'll never watch any of these movies, that was it. You actually got me into the movie. You got me into it. It was like Eclipse. You finally won me over a little bit, and then it was all a frickin' premonition.
What? What the fuck? What would happen if the leader of the council attacks? No kidding, it was the first time in all my screenings of these movies I actually heard the audience boo a little. Yeah. It took 5 films, but we got there.
I wasn't even there.
That wasn't enough. These random vampires from somewhere else show up and say, human vampire babies are totally a thing. Yeah. It's cool.
I am half human, half vampire. Things that could have been brought to my attention
yesterday!
Pisses off, and Edward and Bella live happily ever after, waiting for Jacob to bone their kid.
Also,
should I start calling you Dad?
No.
Why are you okay with this?
Never show that edit again. This movie is so out of its mind, it's hard to believe it's a Twilight movie. Yes, the others are stupid, but this one has life, energy, and effects that clearly can't keep up with that life and energy, but in a weird way that kind of gives it even more life and energy. It is the best kind of bad to end this series on. And with all that said, by God, this series is terrible. But is there any harm in showing it to younger people?
Yes!
Well, I personally think so, as its messages are horrendous. But
Yes.
then again, I didn't really see an increase of girls tossing themselves off cliffs so their boyfriends can simp for them. Maybe it's to some audiences like what old Disney films are to me. They're fairy tales. You're not supposed to literally find your true love in 3 days. It's an abbreviated and exaggerated story. That's what fairy tales are. Maybe that's the mindset younger people had watching this, but it probably goes without saying, this is no Snow White. These are absolute garbage movies, but they can be laughable garbage, and I guess do reflect a time when this is what young people were looking for in a romantic fantasy. We all have our crap we grew up with, but it is definitely crap. And as long as we don't take it too seriously, maybe we can look back and cringe, chuckle, and yes, grow away from it. I am finding those outtakes.
Yeah, do it.
I'm the nostalgia critic. I remember it, so you don't have to.
Knew it. I feel like I just walked a marathon. I hate it. I hated all of it. Oh, thank God Doug was there, because honestly, I could not do it. I could not do those movies again. Those movies were so bad. Even people, they were so bad that people saying it in other movies during the time made it just even worse, or made the movie just, let's that one scene in that, like, there was a movie called Crazy Stupid Love with Ryan Gosling and Steve Carell or whatever. Yeah, Steve Carell. And they just mentioned that one part of the movie, and I'm just like, ugh! Just makes me want to vomit profusely. Oh, and, again, I thought he was going to show that really creepy image of the baby, or the child sitting next to the adult just staring at the water, and I guess he just couldn't show it. It's just too disturbing. It's just too disturbing. It was just way too damn disturbing. So I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Oh, at least nobody, God, isn't the most successful person from those movies, by the way, Anna Kendrick? I don't know. Somebody remind me about that in the comments below, because I'd love to hear all of your things. If you guys still, I actually want to see your reasons for defending these movies. If somebody would actually defend them, I welcome it. I will not even be a mean person. I will welcome it. I will say, hey, come in and tell me all this stuff. Leave all the responses in the comments below, because, man, these movies, just wow. Just wow. Not much more I can say about that. Please smash that like button if you want to see more sexy yet nerdy content, and subscribe if you think I deserve it. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. God, what a load of ass. Oh.